Three, two, one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Divine Brothers podcast. Here to try out something a little different today. We're going to be going through a list of topics, quick fire, just to see how the format suits us. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start it off. I got a couple topics lined up. Me, Chase, Austin put them together. Some of them will go quick, some of them take a little bit more time, but either way, let's get it started. Yeah. Topic number one. All right. I've been a big NBA guy lately. I'm getting into the whole dynamic of the American teams going at each other. And I got a question, man. Everyone loves focusing on the Lakers, on the Knicks, on the big teams, but OKC keeps winning. You get little tiny Portland Trailblazers teams winning championships and stuff like that. And they say, this isn't good. The big markets need to win. But you know what? I'm wondering about that. I like when the underdog wins. I like when a little tiny shitty city like OKC wins. What do you think, Chase? Big market teams need to win or the little guy needs a chance?
I think you nailed it. Shitty city. Like when a shitty city wins a title, you are happy for the people there. It's probably one of the funnest times ever. The league makes no money. The ratings are in the toilet. So as a whole, it's shit. It does nothing to push the needle, but you feel good for the people there. But are you going to watch them win? No, you might watch the last 5 minutes of the game, but nobody gives a fuck. So
I don't know.
I don't watch. Do
Did you
you
know, like,
watch? I didn't fucking watch.
I was
Oklahoma?
okay.
Oklahoma?
Shea Gillis Alexander is an impressive player, right? Watching Nikola Jokic in Denver, it's impressive, right? You remember the Spurs in the early 2000s, shitty San Antonio? I liked watching Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and all those guys, man. Like, I don't think that LA and New York have to dominate. And can you imagine living in Oklahoma, shitty Oklahoma, man, and your team is a champion? It would be everything. It would be everything. The fans must be absolutely
So
fanatical there.
you're speaking of the psychological effects that it has on the
Yeah.
locals, which is true. But for the person in Kansas or fucking Nebraska or fucking, Seattle, nobody gives a fuck about Oklahoma. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They're happy for them, but no, you're not going to watch.
But maybe we as a country should care. Maybe we should support
Dean, you're
the little
underestimating
city.
one thing. LA, New York, people watch them because they hate them. Nobody hates Oklahoma.
Think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, people, you want to see people lose. That's why the
I don't know,
Cowboys are so
man.
popular. People hate the Cowboys. They got the highest viewing ratings because people tune in to watch them lose.
Dude, in China, you see Lakers jerseys everywhere. New York Yankees hats everywhere. I don't think it's hate. I think it's
And
love.
you
I think
you're
they love
you're
it.
talking about the big markets. You're not talking about OKC, buddy.
But that should be
But
what makes America great, man.
but
Underdog
it's an
coming up,
international
taking
sport, and
down
you
the
just said
Lakers.
it in China, LA, and the fucking New York sells. So fuck you, KC, or wherever they are. Okay, see.
Man. All right. That's an
Next.
interesting right there. That's a ding, ding, ding. Okay. Next topic. This one's coming from Chase. Chase, this must be on your mind lately, man. What makes a great gym? Why is this on your mind, bro?
Because I hate my gym here. I fucking hate the spacing. I hate that I have to walk floor to floor. I hate the locker room. I hate the smell. It's just like this
The
place fucking
smell.
sucks, man. I don't want to go in there. And not just it had me thinking, I was like, what made a great gym? You know that gym we had in Vietnam, spacing was the
Oh, I love
locker
that
room
gym.
with
Yeah.
elite showers and plenty of space, and it doesn't get too hot. And it's just like I just I I I like a gym that's not too big, it's not overcrowded, has everything I want, the equipment rise, and then the locker room's just next level.
We
Fantastic.
should let's give this gym in Vietnam some love. All right, because I agree. This was a great gym, man. So we go, first of all, it's beautifully designed. Open space, open air, in the jungle, you know what I mean? Has a cool little bar in the front where they serve delicious, healthy foods and drinks.
Mm.
All the people who work there are beautiful. The trainers, stunningly gorgeous. Yeah. All the equipment, nice, clean, never a crowd. And the best part, totally underestimated, the showers. I remember not showering at home and just going to the gym to shower because they were so good.
Mm.
You know what they had in there? The stool. Remember the stool? You would sit on the stool, the
Yeah.
little wooden stool, and you would just let that water, that big, huge head, just shower you. And I'd stay in there for like 5, 10 minutes, just savoring the feeling, man. A gym is an oasis. That's what it should be. That's why you're happy to pay for it because it's so good for you when you go there, you know?
You know what broke me with this gym? I forgot my
But
towel, and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot my towel." Like, yeah, here's one. It'll be $1. And I was like, No, I'm done
a
with this.
dollar,
You picking,
a dollar.
charging me
Man,
for a fucking towel, you piece of shit in this piece of shit gym. Fuck off. Yeah.
smell too. Stanky smell. Like smells, I'm very sensitive to smells, man. You can't have a stanky gym.
It's a club. It's like a club in a small mountain town. So every time I'm in there, it's just old men. It's an old man
Ooh.
smell, and I'm like, I just
So you know what?
can't do it.
Can you go home, Jim? Can you just say fuck it? I'm doing shit at home. Like buy a couple little things, like set a free weights, a kettlebell, and
No,
just yeah at home. Why not?
no, because home gym would be all right. This is a home base. If I have a home base and then I had the funds, the home gym would be elite. It would be elite. I'd put it into it, but I don't want to move a home
Okay.
gym. Yeah,
I I understand. But what about like something simple like a TRX? You
no.
know? Not man, damn. Okay. That's how Chase feels. He's sticking with it. Ding ding ding. That topic is done, ladies and gentlemen. Austin, jump in anytime if you want to. Yeah. Okay. Next topic. I've been watching college basketball. Basketball is my life now. I can't explain it. I'm just into it, man.
Find a new
And
hobby.
Duke has been absolutely destroying people, like beating people by 50 points. And it just got me thinking about it's always Duke. It's always UNC. It's always UConn and Gonzaga. There are these teams that are just winning dynasties, if that's the word, you know? And it got me wondering, like, is this a good thing? Do I like this? Do I like seeing Duke always winning? Or is this the age of the NIL where actually, nah, money's going to be everything? And the age of the shitty little basketball school is over as everybody's just going to follow the money. What do you think, Chase?
The money. I hate it. Football too is they rotate every year. Everybody gets paid. They act like it's a great thing. I can't watch it. I can't watch basketball. I cannot watch
In college
organized
basketball,
cannot
you
watch
know?
organized sports in America anymore. Can't do it, man. Because when you got a team, you're like, that's my guy. Yeah, I've seen him get better over the years. And he done. He's a new player every fucking year. They run off to your
Yeah.
rival that pays more. So I like that the blue blood, the Duke, the Alabama don't dominate anymore, but it's just there's no salary cap. So whoever has the most money is going to win the title every year, which is essentially 10 teams. About 10 teams. Take your pick. It's always going to be one of them.
But Chase, this is America. You're never going to escape this. It's just how it's going to be. Everything's going to be monetized. So accept it and enjoy the game. You
No,
know,
I don't
just
watch.
change.
I don't watch. I don't care.
You will be a sadder person without having some
You will be
bracketology
a
in your life.
better person without sports in your life. Your weekends become free
No,
to outdoor activities and fucking
dude,
real shit.
one of the only things that has bonded me with people at work, and this has been over many, many years, making brackets for March Madness. Anybody can make a bracket. The girl at work who don't give a damn about sports, she'll make a bracket. You know what I mean?
How many
And
times
you
has
watch
someone
it,
got it
and you're
right,
just
Dean? How
like,
many times?
oh, never,
Never.
never. It's been
Never.
some crazy years like these past few times, you know, because they always have one of the dynasties going all the way. They always have Duke in the championship, but I just read they haven't been a champion since 2015, you know? So I don't know, man. I understand that it's bad and the money's terrible, but you know what? I like to watch a game.
No, man. Stick to
At least it's entertaining.
individual sports. Far superior.
What else are you gonna watch?
UFC. White House lawn at the White House in June, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, who's fighting?
Jones and Pereira
I thought Jones. What about? Oh, he's coming back, huh?
to
The
fight
wife beater
to
coming to the
fight
White House.
Potan.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
That's very appropriate for the Donald. I'm sure he'll enjoy that, man. I was hoping that we'd get the big, big, big fight like
It is the big
Francis and
fight.
Jones.
It's good
Something
enough.
like that. All right. Topic over. Next one. Chase, you're in a religious community. People are touched by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And sometimes they feel the need to share that grace with you by saying a little prayer. Tell me, how you feeling about prayers before meals, sir?
Well, I'd like Austin's input on this. I had to go through a horrific prayer today in a Christian community where the bitch just went too long. Everybody about it, and she thanked God for way too much. But it had me thinking while she was rambling, I was like, I never pray when people they'll bow your head. I never bow my head. I never close my eyes. I always look around and I never fucking pray. Ever. I don't. And I don't like being told to pray. And I'm one of those people that, and I like looking around and I like seeing the other people that are looking around too, that, but, I also wonder who the fuck, if you're going to do this shit to people and subject them to your fucking religious bullshit, how dare you fucking ramble on for over a minute, thanking God for dogs and cats and fucking leaves on trees and being grateful and humble and blah, blah, blah. It's like, man, if you're gonna do this shit, two or three things in a 10-second span, amen, amen. I just blows my mind. What do you think, Austin? I'm
Okay.
right? I'm right. Yeah?
I think you are correct. I don't think you should force beliefs on others. And I think it's incredibly one-sided because if you're going to thank God for the good things, you have to also thank God for the bad things too.
Yeah.
Thanks for starving children. Uh, thanks
What a,
for
what a great prayer. I like this already. Yeah.
Thanks for super chlamydia and gonorrhea and syphilis that's coming back in the United States. Thanks for
Mhm.
all those things, God, because you are the foundation of all this stuff. I think if you really look into it, God is not a great person. And I think you should maybe even remind people of that when they're talking about all the good things God did. Why don't you remind them about all the bad things God did?
Wait,
This
hold.
is this is how
Excuse
you're
me.
supposed to
Are
pray.
we? Wait,
This
hold
man
on,
is
hold
on
on.
to something.
Are we not the divine brothers? Are we not the cynical asshole brothers? Jesus Christ, where's the tolerance? This poor woman, she just wanted to share the love of God. She just wanted to tell you, I'm grateful. And you spit on her. You say, why aren't you talking about syphilis? Ugh.
Would have
What
stoned
fucking
her if I had the
assholes right
chance. It was
here?
1,000 years ago. Would have been throwing things
Oh
at her.
my God. If your mother, Chase, could hear you right now, your Christian
Well,
mother,
would do you
vomit.
guys
She
pray
would
when they said,
vomit.
do you pray or do you look around? What do you do?
If somebody wants to pray, I let them
Do
pray.
you
Like,
pray
enjoy
while they're
yourself. Be
praying?
happy.
Are you praying
If it
too?
makes somebody happy,
Are you
let them be.
praying? Are you praying?
Huh? I'm praying to my bodhisattva, man. I'm praying to my God,
Touching
But
yourself.
first of all, you know what you should say, Chase? Why don't we pray to our Indian gods, huh? Let's pray to the great spirit in the
When
sky,
they ask me, I always like, who are you praying to? Like, what God? What God are we praying to? Yeah, I don't know.
I want you to both to know that you're despicable human beings who have no love in your heart, right? What about
Austin's
loving your
changed the way I'm going to pray from now. I'm praying for all the bad stuff too.
What
Thanking.
about loving your enemy? Huh? What happened to that? I see the words of Jesus mean nothing to either of you.
I'm about done with the Christian community, and so are you. We're going to talk about that later.
Ah, oh, sweet Jesus. God help them, please. End of topic. All right.
God,
Next one.
nailed that.
I've been noticing something at the gym because I've had to get on Instagram lately because people are like, I don't use WhatsApp. You have to use Instagram to talk to me. I was like, all right. And it has showered me with gay shit. And you know what it is? It's all dudes working out their asses. And they're just getting these gigantic, mega muscle asses, like look like a woman, basically. These huge legs, huge asses and stuff. And it made me realize, wait a second, is this a gay thing or is this a guy thing? Do guys want to have these big asses and big legs, or is this just me locked in my gay community? Chase, what do you think, man? Is a big ass a good thing on a guy, or nah? You gotta keep that shit in check.
Ass is an interesting topic. There's a lot of ass men out there. Women fucking get into the ass. I could totally see how a gay man builds ass. But the
Surprising.
the, the key point to me here is doesn't matter who you are. You can be fucking beautiful or mentally retarded. You can get a better ass. In fact, you can have a great ass if you put in the work. And I think that's what people like. You can put in the work, and people will compliment you on it. I like legs, which connects to an ass. I like it on a girl. But when I played football and squatted heavy, I had an ass and I got complimented. It felt good, but I hate squatting. Therefore, having a big ass is not that important to me. But I understand it because it's something that's attainable by anybody, and people will compliment you for it.
It's so true. And I gotta say, as a gay man, nothing will turn me off more than a bony ass. I hate a flat ass, man.
Hey,
Flat
cool
ass
ass.
is
Yeah.
oh disgusting. Like it'll. I don't care how good your personality is. If I'm fucking a hip bone, I it's gonna make me soft. I can't do
Yep,
that shit,
it's a
man.
problem.
It's not. Yeah. Any input, Austin, on this topic?
Uh, I totally agree. A completely flat ass is disagreeable. And I'd say it's something that is eminently fixable. So you probably should if you find yourself in that condition. Unfortunately, some people are just built that way. But God did, speaking of things we're grateful for, develop exercise so that we can fix our shortcomings. And there might even be a position to take that it's your moral imperative to do so. So
It is interesting because I've seen guys on Instagram who have no ass and they work out and they get a muscle ass, and it's not great, but it's better than it used to be. It is a genuine improvement. You know what I mean? Sometimes the thigh eats the ass, which is an interesting thing to see. But, anyways, topic over.
Wow.
Next one. We're taking a little bit more time with this one. No, not going to be bound by the clock here. Austin, you've been curious about what you termed mass mindedness. Now, what do you mean by that, man? What's this topic you want to get into?
arguably mass mindedness is the thing that's leading all of us towards the most imminent kind of destruction because of ideologies that you're forced to believe and that you're not grounded enough into reality and to yourself to fight. And this is possibly going to lead to the destruction of humanity. If I may write read something that you might not like, but is that mass mindedness is weak, shallow, and dangerous because it dissolves the individual into collective moods, slogans, and anxieties. It replaces inner judgment with borrowed opinion, leaving people suggestible to propaganda, ideological possession, and emotional contagion. In Jung's view, a mass minded person becomes hollowed out, cut off from the unconscious, unable to draw on symbolic depths, and therefore dependent on external validation and group identity to feel real. This creates a fragile personality, easily inflamed, easily manipulated, and easily swept into movements that demand conformity rather than understanding. I think we're seeing a lot of that right now. The danger is not only psychological, but ethical. When individuality collapses, responsibility collapses with it, and people can participate in destructive collective behavior without ever feeling personally accountable. Individuation and spiritual connection are preferable and for Jung ethically imperative because they restore the inner center that mass mindedness erodes. A person who has integrated their unconscious, cultivated symbolic life, and established a living relationship to the numinous becomes grounded, autonomous, and capable of genuine moral discernment. They are less vulnerable to collective hysteria because their orientation comes from within rather from the crowd. This inner anchoring is not a private luxury, it is a social duty. Only individuals who have become whole can resist destructive collective forces, act with integrity, and contribute meaningfully to the world. In this sense, spiritual individuation is not merely a path to personal depth, it is the ethical counterweight to the dangers of mass psychology. And do you agree with that or do you disagree?
Chase?
I got flashbacks of that chick praying and just she kept going and going and
I
going. You know
know,
what I
man.
mean?
The
Yeah.
rants, they just kind of go.
Look, I understand what you're saying. You could have summarized that a lot quicker. I just, I feel like every time I hear this speech from somebody, they're already on one side, and I feel like they're already propagandized, and they're just preaching. I warned you not to vote for him. I told you he was fucking senile. I'm like, yeah,
Hearing a
right.
lot of that lately.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, so much of that.
but they're lecturing you like they're not part of it. I'm like, you're absolutely part of it. That's why you're fucking talking about it. It's just, individuation. I mean, the people maybe that I've met that I could truly say exemplify that. How many? How many have you met, Austin? How many? Handful? You mean
Maybe a handful of my entire
right?
life. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I mean. I mean, the concept is so rare. I could probably name four or five. I'm like, man, that wow. I talked to this individual. I think I became a better person after this conversation. I should have paid that person in the therapy session instead of me. It's just they transformed in some way. I never see that. I never see it. I hear the preaching all the time about, fucking propaganda, but it's just like, it's just they're yelling at each other. They're yelling in the mirror, man. Yeah.
I see it in what an example would be you come to a person or they're subjected to these kind of mass emotions telling you to hate a certain group, to be angry or to be afraid. And instead of reacting as, a kind of adopting the contagion, they go inside themselves and they think about it and they come back with a truthful answer from like their own core. They're just carried along by the opinion and like kind of social pressures that most people go with. I think these people are extremely rare, and if everybody was like that, that we wouldn't be caught up in the kind of uh, conflict of ideologies that we find ourselves in. That is currently starting a war between two groups that are psychopathic, that are both wanting the end of the world, so that they can ultimately be correct, so they can be the chosen people, so they can have Goya slaves or be part of the chosen group. It's very disheartening and very scary. And I think it's when it really comes down to people that are not true individuals and therefore easily swept by these kind of currents of mass psychology. And it could actually lead us into Armageddon. And there's not going to be a Jesus figure at the end of that light. It's just going to be a thermonuclear blast, eroding your eyes from your eye sockets.
Yeah, but most people don't
Now,
know.
I'm not sure that Chase's friends there in New Mexico would agree with that assessment there. Yes. As a matter of fact, when the third temple is built on the mountain, we destroy that horrible dome of the rock that those Muslims built there, right? And we sacrifice three red heifers as stipulated in the book of Revelation, as
Kefir,
Mike Huckabee has already arranged. Okay.
cows, kefir.
Then
What is
our
that?
Lord and Savior is going to return. And I don't know if you've read the book of Revelation, Austin, but that means the great white throne judgment is coming. And you, Mr. Sodomite, are going to be the first one that's going to be lined up and cast into the fiery pits of hell. So I understand that you're a little intimidated by that. But as for me and Chase's friends, we don't have to worry about that because I've read the Left Behind books and I already know I'm going to be disappeared and all that'll be remaining are my clothes. So I'm not worried, not even a little bit.
It's very rare to find somebody that doesn't craft their identity off some type of religious symbolism, fucking something like that, man. And it's just, I think the existential dread hits people in different ways. And most people never do what they want to do in life. They marry the wrong people, they have the shit job, and it's just 98% of the population's life ended up nothing like they thought, and they grasp onto these fucking insane beliefs. And they let it define them. And that's how do you fight that, Austin? You can't just you got to sit back and watch, man. That's all you can do.
I think you can fight it. I think social media, very short forms of gratification, people losing their ability to place their attention is gradually drawing people out of themselves and onto the surface where they're subject to social and emotional contagion. And my postulate is that there's part of you, there's a center inside of you that if you make contact with it, you become immune to these kind of collective forces, and you're able to make genuine contact with reality, think logically, think in your most, think in your best interest, and free yourselves from the kind of illusions and
Yeah,
delusions
yeah, a
that
handful of
humans are.
But
people,
hold on,
handful.
Austin. You know, I remember when I was deep in the church, they used to talk about lifestyle evangelism, the idea that you don't need to go spread the gospel. People need to see in your life something that appeals to them. And they come up to you on their own accord and ask, hey, why are you different? Right. But the fact is, people look at like you or other people who don't follow the standard mold and they see nothing that appeals to them. Again, that's not an appeal to you. That's not meant to insult you. What I'm saying is that what appeals to the average human being is having a collective identity, being part of a community, being part of something bigger than yourself. And the idea of going inward does not appeal to the mass. Yeah. So even though I see what you're saying, and I do think that there is truth in it, there's no appeal to it. And therefore, nobody's going to listen to you, man.
That's fair. There is not an image, like you think about Instagram but it's completely fake, but it's very attractive. You see people walking on beaches, see perfect relationships, you see all these things that are not real. And what I'm merely saying is that that's not a pathway to happiness. And what is, and it's not something that is sexy, and it's not something that is Instagrammable, but having contact with the core of who you are, and gives you a type of inner peace, a kind of stability and autonomy that even though you can't really share with people on Instagram, it's it's probably the most important thing in life to be
But
connected
again,
to this
Austin, I
part of
asked the question,
yourself.
why should anybody listen to you?
I think at first you're merely trusting my words, but if you make
Why trust
even,
your words?
well,
Why trust you at all? You know?
I think certain people have an intuition that the path that they're going on is not fulfilling. And I'm just handing out an alternative. And I'd say what I'm saying is eminently verifiable if you are willing to turn inward for a period of time and make contact with this core. And you'll find that it is much more fulfilling than the kind of surface Instagram
Yeah,
lifestyle
but Austin,
that is
when
being forced
when
upon
people
us.
look inward, they tend to find Jesus and judgment. That's what I find around me. It's like, oh, I found Jesus, and you're going to hell, Chase.
And
That's the introspection they come across.
and again, Austin, like Jesus is more appealing than you. Like again, I'm not trying to. What I'm saying is that I understand why the world makes the choice that it does. You know, like Austin, I know
Yeah.
you as a friend, as a stepbrother, and like I see the wisdom of what you're saying. But and I, in fact, I believe in it genuinely. You know, but my concern is that nobody cares, you know? And that's why I'm very concerned about what appeals to audiences. What do people want to hear? What are people actually going to listen to? Because if you can tap into that, then you can share wisdom. Otherwise, it just falls on deaf ears, you know? So again, I think your message is indeed true, and I think it's very valuable, you know? But I just get to, I if you don't find a way to communicate it, then it's just pointless. It's just pissing in the wind, you know? My opinion. What do you think?
Well, no, I agree. The communication, the message is important. But I think what is very easy is if people take you up on your offer to validate what you're saying, then you have a convert, right? And you don't have to convince them with your words. They can convince themselves by making contact with reality. They can do it from their own side. They're not living in words and symbols and ideas and ideologies. They're coming to it themselves from their own
Yeah, but
direct perspective.
Jesus had to do miracles for the followers to come. You know, he had to walk on water. He had to turn water into wine. You know what I mean? But if you're just some guy, like people are going to be like, why would I listen to you? You know? Like,
You got to choose your battles, right? I mean, you get like t today at work, there's this one doctor that's unbelievably way too passionate, but like you admire the passion, like, you're like, oh, they really fucking care, but it's probably not going anywhere. And they're putting all this work on me, and they've done it a couple times, and I was like, what are we doing? I was like, you've read the file. Like, this person's fucked, you know? How can you say that? I was like, because it's just the facts. It's like, it's the facts.
yeah.
I've seen this case 1,000 times. Like, there's nothing we can do. And she's like, you're
Mm,
right. And I was like, we just let it go. You take your victory where you can get it. You can't
mm,
save them. Like she gave in. She was like, "You're right." I was like, "What are we doing? Like, just
mm.
stop. Like, it's not going anywhere."
And you
Yeah.
see, that's a great example, Chase, because you know what Chase did there, Austin? Chase brought a realness that had to be respected. You know, he was grounded in a reality that they were forced to see, you know? And so like there was an appeal there. You know, it broke through. And I think that's the thing. The
And it
again,
made me and that doctor closer. Like,
yes.
we were like, there is a respect there now. Like, okay, I like you. Yeah.
Do you know what this actually brings us to kind of the next topic we wanted to talk about, you know, this idea of friendships and how you develop them and how you maintain them. You know, Chase, you sealed a friendship. You sealed a relationship there
Mm.
and a working relationship too. Like she's going to respect you from now on, respect your opinions, maybe even seek them out, you know? But there's this question, right? How do you maintain that shit? You know, how do you keep it from dying away? How do you not ruin it? You know, because I tell you what, man, this shit is hard. I'm in the process of trying to maintain relationships in America while I'm in China. It's tricky, man. And I feel like I have to put forth a lot of effort. And I ask myself, is this worth it? You know, and all that. And
This is
it's tough.
this is a fascinating topic because it came up for me this week too, and there's I think this is super subjective, but this guy take and in that this guy's more of an engineer. And to him, he's really trying hard to make a friends group because it's been struggle for him and he wants to have a
Sure.
set. And he was asking me questions. What you telling me you have best friends that you don't contact regularly? I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a problem for me. And but for me, humor and trust are kind of core aspects. For him, it's contact and intellectual depth. And he goes,
Yeah.
once a week, we have to make a connection. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I don't live that way. But for him, it was like, it's stimulation. It's just, there's an idea and we need to touch base and dig on it. And I was like, for me, it's just cracking jokes and trust. Like it could be months. And it blew his mind. He goes, and you stay in their top category for friends? I'm like, you rank this? He goes, oh, absolutely. If I don't stay in touch, I'll fall down the ladder. He was very conscious of that. I was like, man, I wonder how much this varies per person. You
That's
know what I mean?
fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. I appreciate both. Like I Chase. I For one, I know Chase, right? Like, and that is absolutely true of Chase. That is 100% a perfect description of how he can do it. He could like not hit a relationship for months, and there'll be a phone call. It's right back where it was.
Sure.
Nothing is done.
Yeah.
You know. But there's also I'm starting to think that you know what? Maybe that little weekly watering of the relationship, maybe it is important.
That's more
Because
proactive for sure. Yeah.
I got on the Instagram because all the gay friends in America, they're like, I don't want to use WhatsApp, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Like my buddy Fernando, he he's sending me some stupid joke every day.
Yep.
Every day. And you know
Shit
what?
like
It's
that.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Like I like it, and stuff like that.
Well,
But
that one thing that guy said, it then he goes, sometimes they'll just send me a video that they think of me or a little quick little, he goes, it just shows that I crossed their mind and that was enough. I'm
yeah,
like, interesting.
that's nice. That's
That is
nice.
very
That's an
nice.
affirmation that you
What,
matter. But
Austin,
go
what do you
ahead,
think
Austin.
on this? What
Yeah.
is your opinion?
Yeah, you have to keep up, like exactly like you said, Chase. You need a kind of relationship. You need to let people know that it's not merely transactional, that sometimes you just like being around them and you don't need anything from them, that maybe you want to have a 5 to 10 minute conversation. I do my very best. I have people like Steve and Bobby and Brian who I really make an effort to come into contact with, to be in their physical presence like once a month. I don't do it once a week,
Okay, so
but
you've got the engineer brain too. You're like, I got to do this once a month. Yeah. Like a requirement. Check the box.
Wait. You're doing it as a requirement or you feel like you fall down the ladder if you don't do it?
I think no, yeah, I think falling down the ladder is part of it, but I think uh, keeping strong social connections as wide as possible is eminently pragmatic. But I think
Yeah.
it's just like a good habit to follow through with. And friends are your support network. It's always good to have somebody that you've been in contact. You don't want to contact somebody you haven't talked to in a year needing something. And you only can
Yeah.
really contact
Good
people
point.
with important things that and they'll only be only I think they'll only help you or really want to help you if they think or feel that the relationship isn't based on transaction. Like this person not only really likes me, he's not calling me because he only needs something. Like in this situation, it's both. But you
So
have to,
Austin
yeah.
is are you so this once a month thing, right? Are you the one putting in all the effort or is it balanced? They also put in the effort.
Well, because I live outside of town, it's typically me that's going to see
Yeah.
them. But
Yeah.
for example, though, when I go over to Steve's house, he'll very often help me with my motorcycle. So Steve himself does, like, even though he won't come to me when I do go there, he is
Right.
helping me out. So there's this kind of mutual assistance on top. But we also just sit there and watch YouTube and shoot the shit for 2 hours too, which is
Yeah.
super important because I don't just show up when I need things or hang out when I need stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dean, I want to ask you because Austin, the transactional part's unbelievably important. I should have not overlooked that. But do you ever feel like you're falling down the ladder with people? I never have that feeling, ever. Um,
Uh, I have. It's not falling down the ladder, but relationships have died. You know what I mean? Because I didn't put in the effort,
sure.
and they're out of my life. They're out of my life forever. You
Sure.
know what I mean? So it's not really about fall. I don't really care about my hierarchy place in friendships,
Yeah.
but I do care about having friends. Like when I was in America, I got to see all kinds of people in person, and it was good. Like I was
Oh,
grateful. Like I
oh,
was like, damn, I miss this. I like hanging out with people,
so
you
my
know?
mindset is I can always get a new one. Like even here, it's like I got lined up
Oh,
too.
interesting.
I'm like,
Oh, I don't have that mindset.
I like
No.
I two I'm gonna hang out with them next week. So I'm like, that's fine. That's enough here. Like
Yeah.
it's like maybe they're cool, maybe it's conditional, but it's like it's not hard for me. It's like I'll just get a new
Yeah.
one. I don't know. I don't think that's normal, but
Maybe it would be different in America for me. Because I remember like when I was in Hawaii, I was making friends when I was living with you there and stuff like that. Like I was, because I was talking, but in China, harder,
sure,
you know, it's
sure.
work friends and that sort of shit, you know.
And I think
But
like that engineer guy I told you about. To, it was like I've never really had friends, so you could see the effort. You could see like I need to
mm,
stay in touch. You know, this
yeah,
is important, and I don't want this to be transactional, and I want to move up. And
yeah.
I was like, well, you've never had it, and I can see the
Well,
amount of energy you're putting into it. It makes sense.
I will say that it's good you shared your model with them because I do
Blew his
believe
mind.
your
Blew his
model.
mind.
The chase model is the best way. And what I mean by that is there's a purity to that because there's not any kind of transactional expectation, you know, and I think the engineer has the transactional expectation,
The
you know.
fear of it, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the closer you get, and I think also because I have seen like I've met Chase's friends. They tend to be genuine friends. Like they're very happy to be chilling with Chase, and Chase is happy to be chilling with them. You know, like a good example of a Chase friend is David. You know, like just somebody on the outskirts of society, but there's a real mutual respect. Like you respected his intelligence, and he respected your ability to tolerate him. You know, like it's a good balance
Yeah.
with those friendships you have, man.
That's
You
a great
know,
topic right there. It's a great topic.
great topic. Yeah. We got one last one. Yeah, and so I think we basically got to talk about this,
We got to
guys.
save the world now.
We got to save the world. We're at war with the people of Iran. The Ayatollah is dead. And I'm reminded of an old movie I saw a long time ago called Wag the Dog, where the president of the United States is caught in a sex scandal, and so he declares war on Albania to distract from it all. And I can't help but wonder. I've never been much of a conspiracy guy, but you know what? I wonder if this is all just to fucking distract from that Epstein stuff, man. Like, I think shit was getting hot, and I cannot understand why this has happened. I really don't. I am blown away that we are at war right now, and the only thing I can really think of is Trump's hiding something, man. I think it smells dirty.
It's bad dirty, but how much does this Epstein shit bother you? I mean, I just see it doesn't phase me much.
Really?
I was telling Austin this because everyone's like, "Oh, they're fucking children," and I'm like, "Look, man, I've been in the psychology field for 15 years. The times I have ran into pedophiles, it's just such a low percentage. What I see
Mm,
with the child predators is, yeah, I was 20, she was 17. Yeah, I was 25, she was 16. Like it's like
right.
I can understand. I can't remember the term, but the term for
But
girls that look over 18, that's what I see 95% of the time. I
that's not
cannot,
really but it's not the underage shit that upsets me.
oh, what
What
is it?
upsets me is that he was blackmailing people with the underage shit, and he worked for Mossad, and he was working with the Rothschilds. You know what I mean? It shows that there really is a global
Well,
conspiracy.
I think people like, oh, they're fucking kids. They weren't fucking kids. They thought they were fucking someone that was 20 and she ended up being 17. And then they're using it as
Yeah, it's about the
blackmail.
blackmail.
And then they
Yeah,
use terms as child trafficker, even though the girls over there are getting paid handsomely. I'm like,
yeah,
just stop calling it what it is. It's the morality police, and the fucking masses are going to crucify you. That's what they're scared of. Sure.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
and see, that to me is the real thing because I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's on the outs of Trump. She said Trump called her because she was pushing for the Epstein thing, and he just said, this is going to put my friends in jail,
Sure.
aka billionaire people, man. It exposes the network that we all know the shit Alex Jones has been yelling about for years, you know. It really does
That
exist
I,
and it was about to be exposed.
I did, I never believed the narrative. There was a guy that our father knew in South America. I met him, and he'd set guys up with girls down there. He was a good-looking
Yeah.
guy, and like, I met him. He's like, "Oh, you want a girlfriend? You show me pictures." I was like, "Damn, man, yeah, man, I thought about it."
Yeah.
He got arrested in Colombia for drug trafficking. He ended up killing himself, but he was labeled a drug trafficker. But what happened was one girl he hired who had a fake ID and said she was 20, she was 17, and that was it. That was
Uh,
it. But in the paper, drug trafficker. But he was an expat. And he's like, hey, I'll give you this much percentage and I'll keep this. And these girls were making money. He was making money. But the narrative is a horrible person. In real life, it's just like everybody was involved with it. If we were super famous, we would all be, I would have been fucked. Everybody would have been fucked. It's
right.
just, they can craft a narrative very easily. I think a bunch of rich men went to an island and got laid. Like Bill Gates had oh, it's come out. He had an affair with two fucking Russian, whatever. Like, yeah, good for fucking him. Good
But
for
tell
fucking
me
him.
this, Chase. Is there any reason that we should be at war with Iran right now? Is there any justifiable reason?
Look, man. Me and Austin talk about it. Look, one of them's got to go. It's got to be Israel. It's got to be the Islamics. Like, I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of the peace treaties. I'm sick of shooting a couple rockets, kill a couple hundred people, and then 10 years. Just get it over with. One side's got to win. You might as well just get it over with. Is it because of the Epstein files? Probably. Probably.
What do you mean get it over with though? Like nuke them, make it into a parking lot?
What?
Like is
Okay.
that what
Are
you're
they ever
saying?
gonna just be, you know what? I was in the wrong. You're in the wrong. Let's just agree to get along, bro.
How
Is
about
that
we
gonna
agree
happen?
not to get involved in the Middle East? How
It's
about we're just done with it?
You can't,
Fuck
Dean.
this.
They
Why not?
run our country. You know who's in. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Come on, man.
I'm saying that should change. That's what I'm saying. I'm
How's that
saying
gonna
that we
change?
should
How's that gonna
wash our
change?
hands of that
How's that
shit.
gonna change? How you gonna
First
do
of
that?
all, we did not have to declare war on Iran. Everything was fine. All right, we do not have to support Israel too. We could have just let it be. You know, they want to declare war on Iran. Go for it, Israel. Have fun. But the
Sure.
United States does not have to be involved with that
It
shit.
was
We can
probably
maintain
Epstein.
all the
It
partners.
was probably Epstein, and the narrative will come out. They're all fucking and eating kids and blah blah, and that would have been hell.
People are gonna like Americans are gonna die now. There's already hundreds and hundreds of dead Iranians. Probably gonna be maybe millions by the end of all this because there's like, what did they say? Like 90 million people living in that country.
92.
You
Yeah.
know, like, dude, fuck. This is gonna be horrific. It's going to be a Vietnam and an Iran, all Iraq combined together.
I don't think so.
What
What do
I
you
agree with Chase. Dean, you ask, who's war good for? It's good for arms manufacturers. It's good for the people that are being blackmailed by Israel so that information doesn't come out. It's not good for the American people. It's not good for the Iranian people. I think what a lot of people fear is there's something called the Samson option within Israel that says if we're losing, we're going to start shooting nukes off. And they have, of course, they haven't acknowledged they have nukes, but they've had them since the 60s. They stole the technology from the US. I think that's what a lot of people worried about, that Israel is going to put themselves in such hot water that they're going to take everyone else down with them. And I think these ideologues are going to be the end of the world, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Muslim, whether they're Christian. I mean, it's basically a pit where three psychotic people are fighting, and you ask me, who do you want to win? Like, I don't care. Like, let them kill themselves, let one kill the others. It really doesn't matter to me because they're insane people that are taking down society because they're not in a pit. They're dragging us all down with them.
this? Have you seen Trump's spiritual advisor? What she's been saying? Have you
Sure.
seen
I
her
want to
shit?
apply for that job.
Oh my God, this woman. She gets up there and she's praying to Jesus, getting to prayer again. It's prayer in public.
Never
And you
mind.
know what she starts? She starts saying, Lord, help us to defeat our enemies. Strike, 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 strike. And the crowd starts applying, and she just gets strike, strike. And then she starts speaking in tongues, going, we summon the angels from Africa. This is
What?
real. This is a real tape. This is Trump's spiritual advisor and shit. And Austin, you're absolutely right. These are not people act like, oh, those crazy Iranians going, Allah Akbar. The Jews are just as crazy in Israel. The ones that are in power, Ben-Gvir and Netanyahu, they are just as radical. They fundamentally believe this shit to their core. And we have Christians in the United States that believe the same shit, the dispensationalists. This is some dark shit, guys. I'm
Well,
very upset about it.
it's inevitable though. To me, like this is inevitable.
What, the
Yo,
return of Jesus?
let's have a ceasefire. Let's have another shit. Like, just get it over with. Just one side wipe. Just get it over with, man. Hurry up. Get it over with, man.
There is no hurry up. There is no end to this
No,
chase.
no, it's no into it when it's the ceasefire and let's do passive aggressive shit. Go to fucking war. Get it over with. Just get it done. Get it done. Because everybody's sick of hearing about it, man.
Yeah,
Sick.
just go to war with Hitler. Yeah, that's gonna, that's all. It's gonna end up fine for France and Poland and everybody else under there. But
This is the cycle that happens, Dean. It always works like this. There's no deviation. There is no harmony in
this,
holding hands. It's never worked like that.
what
We
if it
all know
leads to
that.
World War III, Chase? What if
It's
they really do?
always going to end leading to that, man. It's always going to end up with that.
And we're all fucked, man.
Yeah.
Genuinely, we're all fucked. There's no
Nah,
money. There's
nah.
no security. There's no like. It really could be the
But you
darkest
want what?
time.
You want let's just appease and push it aside. Just keep
I
negating it.
want, let's get the fuck out of the Middle East. It's time. Like, let's just stop supporting Israel. Let's stop supporting,
You can't. The
let's just wash our
ideologies are
hands of
too
this
strong
region.
in this country. That's the Holy Land. That's the Holy Land, man.
Let
It's
Israel
too
do what it wants,
embedded.
man.
Dean, it's
But
here. Look
no,
around. Dean, you had something to say on Christians. What did you have to say on Christians? How are you feeling about Christians right now?
I think they're fucking. I think the extremes are crazy, man. I can't
And
believe
why
Mike
is that?
Johnson is the Speaker of the House, man.
What's going on? Why do you
Because
feel
they're
that?
dispensationalists. They believe that the end of the world is coming. They believe they are going to usher in the end of the world by building a third temple on the Temple Mount, which, by the way, means destroying the Dome of the Rock, the third most sacred site in all of Islam.
Wait, so what do they
Right?
want to do? What exactly do they want to do?
They want to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. It was destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. And in order to do that, they're going to have to destroy the Dome of the Rock. This is the place where Muhammad ascended to heaven. It's the third most sacred place in all of Islam. If that goes out, that's going to be a international holy war. Like that
Yes.
is going to be all Islamic countries declaring war, which by the way has happened before, right? Like in 1948, okay? So just I've been studying history a long time. This shit is screaming pre-World War, and it terrifies me. It really fucking scares me.
But it's inevitable, doesn't it feel like that?
I guess I just don't want to believe it. You know what I mean? Like,
Jesus.
I'm trying to get this dog out of here. I don't want to. I want to delay it as long as possible because the consequences are so horrifying to me.
Fair.
Don't you think that's a worthwhile cause to
No,
delay it?
no. I think they've delayed it long enough. I can't. I feel like we can't control this. I feel like if it's in motion, it's like the fated idea. It's like it's coming. It's like a tidal wave. You can bucket the water out, but the wave's coming, and it's just like, it's finally here. It's finally here because we've been delaying it a long time. We have.
We could die, Chase.
We could delay it
I mean,
more.
we could die. You know,
That's
like
okay. It's all right. Do we have a lot going on anyway? That's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, the question about why this keeps happening is because there's a lot of people in really high places that are psychotic and they believe that they're initiating the end of the world. And I think they're impatient for it. They want it to happen. You find it in Shia Islam, they want the Mahdi, which is like a messianic figure that comes at the end of time. The Jews want the same thing, and the Christians want the same thing. And what's the connecting thread? You need it's either like precedes or it's like happening during the apocalypse, and that's very scary. And these people genuinely believe it. And they believe it so much they'll kill basically everyone to achieve it.
That's why I've always liked living in a Buddhist culture, man. It's the same telling Dean, let's just go to Cambodia. So fuck
fuck.
these
I'm
people, man. So fuck
I
this.
like living
All
in
this.
communist culture. They got rid of all that religious shit. Not one kid believes in God. They all believe, yeah, when you die, it's over. That's what they
No,
don't
I don't
think
like
about
that.
this shit.
No, I don't
You
like that.
know,
I like the cycle
like
shit.
this is. I am so disappointed in the United States. I really am. I
I don't
feel
feel
like
that way. I feel
it's
like, you know what? At
over.
least he's making moves, man. Doing, making some changes, putting some
Oh
things in
man,
motion.
this is dark shit. Trump said today, unconditional surrender is the only option. the last time that was said by a U.S. president, we dropped 2 nuclear bombs on Japan, right? Like this
Mhm.
is these people are not going to surrender, man. They are not going to surrender. They are religious zealots. They do not surrender. They die
We had an
instead.
individual on this show. His name was Eric Javor. He said there's an 84-year cycle, and he gave us the 2026 to 2030 as the fucking headway for it. And maybe he
Well,
was right.
maybe he
Maybe
was
all his
right.
rambling, you were making fun of him and calling him all
What? I
types of.
wasn't making fun of him. I don't eat once a week because of him. Man. I
Oh,
think he
really?
had wisdom.
He
Yeah.
did. He could have been right. He's probably listening right now. And be like, yeah, I told you guys. Yeah.
It's the wisdom of the Javor. I think so. Well, any other thoughts on this, guys?
No, I think we've set everybody's minds at ease as we usually do.
Guess what? That was a nice clean little podcast. It was kind of boom boom there at the beginning. Had a little depth at the end. I
Insightful.
think it was all right. I kind of like that. More structured. Yeah.
We're not used to
So,
that, but maybe we need it.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's the end of the Divine Brothers podcast. Be back next time. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.